how did a boy from Burnett County get to be on the Globetrotters?
Well, everybody has their own different stories. So mine, I played in a charity game against some former Globetrotters and NBA players. I ended up getting the game MVP, and they were like, "Hey man, you should be with us." So we exchanged information. I got the contact info of Lou Dunbar, who was the director of player personnel for the Globetrotters, and he's also a 40-plus year Globetrotter legend. It wasn't 40 years back then, so I know we make fun of his age and father time. He's been good to him, but somebody that's had such a long career and legacy within the organization, to get him co-signing on, you and just giving you that opportunity. It's about 12 years later, and still enjoying just everything that we're about and playing in front of the fans. That's one thing I do miss, since the pandemic. So, I love what I do.
That's awesome. So there's so many people that have been negatively affected by being stuck at home, not having their normal social lives, all that kind of stuff. So how have you handled it?
Oh, well, I'm no different than anybody else out there. I definitely had my ups and downs, had some low points in the pandemic of just wanting to get out, missing the interaction with people, and then, waiting almost 2 years before you can even play again. And then, boom, here we go. We're finally starting back, and then, catching COVID and, having to be sidelined, and then finally getting to finish out the short tour that we had. And once we first started back, it was a little bittersweet. And then, before we're getting started, finding out, oh man, well, hey, they've got a new COVID policy to where everybody's got to be vaccinated. All our touring personnel must be vaccinated to tour. So, that's something that, adversely aligns with my beliefs. So I'm like the Kyrie Irving of the Globetrotters, if you will. I'm just on the sideline.
All right. I've had times in my life where I have felt like, because I've chosen to do my business differently, and felt like I've been on the sidelines, not in that mainstream, and it takes a little longer, but man, the fruit is sweet once things get going again,
Absolutely. I feel like it's just everybody's responsible for their own joy, so you realize that this is one thing that's missing, and it's been a major part of my life for the majority of my life, but there's still other things and things that have been neglected over the course of, my career. So I really made sure to take time to focus on those things, spending more time with family and, of course, spending time with my daughter. Her entire life, all she's known is daddy has to leave, her from when she could talk, daddy, I need you, daddy, don't leave, to trying to climb into my suitcase and pack herself with me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And she is the sweetest little girl in the world. I'm a girl dad through and through, but just being able to spend that time, it's important, and letting the people know that, hey, even though when I am gone, y'all never left from being in my heart. So being able to spend that time, it's everything. It's everything.
Very good.
I had times where I was just, going through depression, relationship issues. I think the pandemic was affecting everybody, and it didn't really skip anybody with those trials and tribulations. But, I'm a man of faith, and I believe that God, he puts you through different things just to make sure that you are ready for the big task whenever it comes. So we're going to get tested. It's a part of life, and, you just got to keep going. You have to like hunker down on your faith and your morals, whatever it is that you personally believe in. Don't abandon those things when the going gets its toughest, because it's just a test.
So you said something about, you have a strong faith. So when you were feeling depressed, did you rely on that?
Absolutely. There was nowhere else to go.
Right.
You feel like you're drowning, or like the walls are just 100 feet tall around you, and there's nowhere else to look but up. So I just had to remind myself. I'm one of those people that I always try to remember, what I've been through, because it's a reminder of the focus that you need to move forward or to reach that next goal. So you always have to remember, you acknowledge, you don't let it weigh you down, but you definitely have to acknowledge the things that you go through and the things that you overcome. So the next time, because we never know when these situations, these feelings will come, but you just are better prepared. And it's kind of like teaching patience with a child or having patience with your child. Once you think you reach one level, oh man, here I go get tested again. So I have to try to level it up again. And then here's the next time and the next time and the next time. And, shoot, I'm out of screen. So you just have to keep on challenging yourself and just know that you are built to rise to the occasion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. The just rising to the occasion, and then that really does make you into a role model. You know what I mean?
There's so many people, athletes, and just public figures that would say, "Oh, I'm not a role model," and that was one of the first things that I learned as a Globetrotter. My rookie year, I was with Flight Time. We had a lot of amazing veterans that teach you how to be a Globetrotter, because you come in, you don't know about being a Globetrotter, you just know about doing your thing as a basketball player. And one thing that he told me was that somebody's always watching. You're always gonna be somebody's favorite, no matter who you are or what you do. Somebody is gonna focus on you. So your body language is important. All just how you carry yourself, all of it is important. And me being I'm 6'8" and all this hair, I used to have my hair blown out, and it was just flowing and going nonstop. So I would draw a lot of attention.
I love it. When I first saw your picture, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, I love his hair. I guess it's your trademark, huh?
It's become my moniker,
I love it.
I woke up like this. I go right, it goes left, and it all goes wrong. But somehow people, they still love it. So, I'll just let you guys enjoy it. I'll suffer on the hot days, but, just get some braids and put my head out the window like people's pet passengers.
Right.
It just a whole different breeze when you get it braided.
Oh, that's hysterical.
It's a part of me, and something that I connect with the fans, and a lot of people, of course, they know me for having the hair. So I come up with a lot of different crazy characters and things to do with my hair sometimes.
Oh, I love it.
It's all.
Hey, give us what's one of your favorite memories from being a Globetrotter?
My favorite memory, I say this memory is something that just let me know that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. This is what I was purposed to do. We were in Oklahoma City. I had just lost my aunt to breast cancer. She lost her fight, and we were having an autograph session, and it was just swamped, tons and tons of kids, and there was this one kid in the sea of children, and people were pushing him, trying to cut him in line, and he just stayed just happy, just bouncing, just excited. And he came up to me, and I try to be personable with everybody. So this kid says, "Oh, hey Moose, oh man, yeah, I'm finally up here. Like, hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing?" I try to make a little small talk with every kid, every parent, just to make them feel like they're more than just like I'm just trying to get through the line, So I talked to this kid, and I said, "Hey, buddy, what's going on, man? Who's got you doing all the heavy lifting?" He had 2 basketballs, and I was like, he's got these 2 basketballs. They both can't be for him. So let's talk. And he said, "Oh, well, I'm gonna get one autograph and keep for myself, and the other one I'm getting autograph to auction off to help pay for my brain surgery." And then it was like the mic drop. And
no kidding.
Oh man, shoot, this kid, he can't be more than 8, 9 years old, but he's the happiest kid in the gym. And then I start, paying attention to other things. Okay, well, he doesn't have any hair. Okay, so he's probably here at the cancer treatment center, getting treatment. But, for this, 2 hour period, we're here letting this kid lose all his worries. You couldn't tell that he had a worry in the world. Mm. And it just let me know that no matter what I'm going through personally, I still have to carry my light, because you never know how you can affect somebody else. You never know what you do or what you say, how it can affect somebody and how long it can affect somebody. It can, just give them a little push that they needed to keep fighting. We never know. And that's one of the beauties of being a Globetrotter. You're able to be a goodwill ambassador. We do the hospital visits and things like that. And just the character outreach programs that help, build up our youth in different ways. And I mean, if you're not trying to help the next generation be better than your generation, then, what are you doing it for? So that really hit home with me. It rocked me. It just kind of gave me a different fuel, a different passion to go into each game with. So no matter what I was feeling, no matter if I was sad or, I just didn't feel it that day, it didn't matter, because all I had to do was come out here for these couple hours and give these people something that they'll never forget. And, that's, I think, when I really embraced that part of being a Globetrotter, I just had even more success with it. So that's my personal favorite moment.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah, those kids, I'm from Memphis, and so very aware of, the cancer research that's going on in the world. And so that's a really, really neat experience, sounds like. You mentioned that you guys are goodwill ambassadors, and you guys get to go travel and see different people and kids. And so is there a type of population that you tend to gravitate towards the most, like working with kids with cancer, or any other type of population, or like that, like breast cancer because you lost your aunt to that? Or is there any population that you really gravitate towards?
It's not really a particular group. We always try to be a positive influence to children, because they need role models. Like you said, we have role models, but some people, they don't even realize that they are role models, or don't want the responsibility. And I think that's something that each Globetrotter, they carry that responsibility with pride. We love to be able to give back in that way. It's not just because this is your job. It's more so this is who we are outside of basketball. And I think that's why, it takes a special type of individual to be a Globetrotter. I mean, I love it. I think just kids in general are who we would try to influence with our goodwill.
So the name of this podcast is called Food, Faith, and Feelings. I think, in the conversations that we have had leading up to this, the multiple conversations trying to get this done, we never really discussed faith. And so I think that's just very synergistic with who I am and what Manna is. We are, an organization that is very much focused on God. I mean, manna actually comes from the Bible, right? When they were the Israelites were in the desert, and God gave them manna to eat. And so I named manna because people with eating disorders it's sort of like we want them to come back to the basics, where they rely on God as they are going through their emotional and spiritual deserts. So what kind of advice, what kind of wisdom, what kind of scripture would you use or say to just encourage people who are struggling with eating disorders, trauma recovery, trying to really deal with the pain that's going on inside of them?
Being a man of faith, I rely wholly and completely on that. I can't speak for others, but I know in my journey, in my walk through the wilderness, and I feel like we're still in the wilderness in this day and age. And I have to give all my worries, there's nothing that I can handle myself. We're not made to worry or to be worriers or to be doubtful. Those are all things that we pick up from the world, from our society and things like that. That's from my belief. And so I just always try to keep a positive mindset, and I, relying on my faith, I immerse myself in scripture to strengthen myself. It's like I have to, shed my faulty clothing and put on my armor in that sense. I just try to just inspire people to don't give up, and the situation is not going to get bigger than what you can handle. Sometimes you just, instead of rushing into that initial emotion, or some people they rush into anger, or they rush into worrying, or doubt, or fear, and instead of just letting those emotions hit, I mean, we are human, but take a step back and look at everything that's there, and then try to start making a plan. For me, I always have to, I set goals for myself, and I remind myself, like I was saying earlier, of where I've been and what I've overcome, and then to keep myself on track, I always try to have it written out to where I can visualize, what I'm doing, or make sure I'm staying on track with my goals. And when you can visualize things, or just write it out to where you can see and chart your progress, and then I think you have more structure. And I've got to go back to the scripture, because if you look at the Bible, when they were in the wilderness, God ordered out everything of how He wanted the tribe of Israel to section their army. He gave laws. Everything was so detailed and well ordered. And so one thing, because that's not where my life has always been organized and ordered, I've found that I have to get that order in my life to have a better success and a better consistency. And then I just find in doing that, I have a lot more peace of mind. My patience is better, and I don't feel the weight of whatever situation is troubling me. And even now, I have things that aren't right, but you would or things that bother me, or that I don't feel good about, but there's nothing that can just cripple me here, because I have my faith. And when I'm trying to tell other people or give advice, one thing is, I can't give advice if I'm not going to take my own advice. I just want to send that message out to anybody that might be trying to, or they're struggling with being a role model. Don't tell somebody to do something that you wouldn't do, or don't talk about something that you haven't really been through. There's people that are really struggling out here and are really vulnerable out here. I believe that you have to find like-minded individuals to surround yourself with while you're trying to get out of these holes, these metaphorical holes, these valleys. We're not meant to just be sad people. When you see somebody that's sad, it's worth it to just share a smile. And this is all things that we tell a lot of the kids, but it just rings true. Smiles are free. You share a smile, you'll be surprised what it can do. I just can be walking around like this. So I say, hey, how you doing? People aren't really going to believe that I'm really hoping they're okay. But if I'm walking, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Or just, hey, just it's your body language and just how you interact with people. It stays with them. A lot of times, I'm walking around and I say hello to people. I know what I look like. All right, I'm 6'8". This hair is not. Sometimes it's intimidating when you come around the corner and hey, how you doing? Right. So I always try to arm people with a smile, or just with warmth, and it works. But there's people that still won't say hello. I dealt with that today, and hey, I just sometimes you get frustrated. My breath stink. I didn't get that close. I mean, I said hello. Well, what's going on? Hey, how are you? All right, man? Oh, hey. I said, how you doing today? Oh, okay. All right. Well,
that's the way it is.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to make a little joke out of it to yourself, but that doesn't
Yeah,
mean
you
if
got
somebody,
one time to make a first impression.
right. And if somebody doesn't reciprocate that same warmth, it's okay. You can't change who you are just because the other side of it doesn't match. And keep myself around like-minded individuals that have the same likes and business goals and spiritual goals. Just there's so many levels to who we are, and you got to make sure that you're feeding every part.
So I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite verse, my life verse, is Romans 12:2, which also happens to be my birthday, 12:2. And it also is exactly what I do for a living. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Like, because I'm a psychologist, right? And so, do you happen to have a favorite verse?
I really can't say that I have a favorite verse because I'm in the scripture every day, and I feel like even if it's something that I've read before, it just carries new meaning. And
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cliche for me to just be like, oh, Psalm 23, but in all of its simplicity, it's everything is right there for you. I mean, the Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. Period. So when I find myself just wanting or longing for things, and I just have to check myself a little bit. Well, is this thing that I want? Is this what my flesh wants? Is this something that do I want it because I see other people with it and I really don't want it, but for some reason I'm just drawn to it? Or is this something that I need spiritually? I think a lot of times we're looking to be fed and don't realize that the food that we need is not bread, but we need that spiritual food. It's hard for me in my profession to just speak out as much because sometimes if you just tell who you are and say what you're about off the rip, some people might just try to block you out just because they've heard bad things, or this must be you. You say you're a Christian, you must be a Bible thumper, you must be this like this. I can't bring anybody or give any insight to who I am or what I believe that way. So I just try to extend the same love and warmth to people that I receive from those that believe in the same thing. And it's harder in today's world because you can't say this or you can't say that, and you have to be so careful with who you might offend because
Cancel
that's
culture.
just our world. It's a very sensitive world, and there's been so much hate spread around that now people think everything is or could be considered as hateful. So you have to really, even if you don't mean something, or you have to make sure that you assess whatever you're about to say because once it's out, it's out. You can't take it back. Tongue is a double-edged sword. So I feel like you have to speak responsibly, and that's another part of just maturity, knowing what you say can really damage somebody. I haven't always done that, but I feel like one thing that I've learned over the course of this pandemic is that I have to look inward and be responsible for all the things that I say, everything that I do. Just even if somebody is talking to me and I might be busy, just how I tell them, hey, give me a second. Just little things, because I don't want anybody to feel that dejection or rejection. It's just I don't want to bring any negative thoughts to a person, about me or the kind of person I am, because I'm not just walking for myself. I'm walking to be an example. I have to check myself on what kind of example I am to anybody.
Very cool. Well, Alex, we've got to wrap it up. I appreciate you so
You mean
much.
we're done already?
I know. What,
Oh,
honey, we
man.
could do another one.
I thought we're just getting started, Genie.
But I am going to call you because we have a gala coming up, and I'm going to need one of those basketballs signed.
Well, that's not a problem at all.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of Manna and the Food, Faith, and Feelings broadcast. And I'm happy to have you back because this was really fun for me too. I love it.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm glad that we were finally able to do this. Hopefully this is just going to continue on our beautiful friendship.
Sounds great. Thank you.